Welcome back all of you. I hope you're doing safe and be safe and ensure that you are sanitizing your hands often for every 30 minutes. Okay, now in the video 1 we watched how to log in it and what are the basic buttons are available and adding basic introduction in the first video. In this video 2 we are going to discuss how to create questions. It may be a paragraph questions, it may be a long question or short question, or it may be a question of multiple choice question or something called as checkbox. Now what is the checkbox? In a question, like I have given 5 options to the students. I want student to choose more than one option. In that case, here in Google Forms it is available. But in MCQ question, it is a type of MCQ like wherein you can choose more than one question. Let me take you to the Google Form and explain you how to do it. So we created 4 questions in the last session, and now in this session we want to add more things about how to create questions and all the things. Now let's observe the first question. Here you can see I can write here question like what is management and other things. Then I can have here, or I can have an image also in the place of questions. I can add images also, especially it is useful for statistics and other problematic papers wherein you are supposed to display the questions. Writing a question is very difficult here, so that you can add an image and you can give options to the students. Then or they can solve the answer or they can write the answer, whatever you want, the way you want it. It is the discretion of the faculty. Here we have something called as short question and paragraph. Now how to use it? Like for example, I have a question called as explain evolution of management. Now if I want to type it here, explain the evolution of management, what you can see is I want it to be short answer question. So here students will like short text, or I want to like elaborate, then if you can choose long answer wherein the space will be given more to the students for a response. I will choose that. Now we got to know how to add these all questions related to long question and short question. Now we are going to discuss how to add multiple choice question. Now I want to add a question 1 plus 1 is equals to. For this should be like multiple choice question. I want the students to answer multiple choice questions here. Now what do I have here? Like 1 plus 1 is equals to. I would write 1. I will press tab. Now see, Google automatically suggests you. It is very smart. It automatically suggests add all. If I want to press add all the 5 will be added here, which we have already discussed. I will add it and I will get it all, which we have already discussed in a previous video. This is how you create multiple choice questions. Now, whenever it comes to multiple choice question, if you want to add answer keys, you can add answer keys and give them points. Right? Now, how do we do it? We'll show you it here. Now, the answer is 2 obviously, and see if once it is answer is selected, it shows in the green mark, and I want to give it a 2 mark question. The 2 marks will be selected. Now, what changes you can see here is in the down point, it shows 2 points. That you cannot see anywhere here. I have not added here, so answer key it says 0 points because I have not added 0 points here. Now I'll show you again answer key. Anyway, this will not have any answer key because it's an answer long question, but hence I'm going to have a marks for it, so I'm going to have 2 marks here. That will be displayed. Same here I choose. Right. Now what is this option called as delete? If I want to delete this question, I can delete it. If I want to duplicate the question, I can duplicate it, which we've already discussed in a previous session. Now, if I want to press, like I want this question to be mandatory. For example, part D will be mandatory, compulsory questions. In that cases, I can make it as a required. And if I get out of that question, you can see here a mark called a star. That means the question is mandatory. Without submission of this, the student will not be able to submit your paper. This is how you are creating multiple choice questions, long questions, and making questions mandatory. And next point we have to discuss is making checkbox questions. Now, how do I make a question as a checkbox? These are the options: short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, and checkboxes. By selecting this checkbox, you can create a question which is like checkbox, wherein you can select more than one questions, which we'll show you in the preview very soon now. Now, how do I see? This is all about preparation of questions, different questions which you want, and then there is a possibility that a teacher wants to have a questions wherein students have to write the answer then upload it. this option can be used for it. Just read this instruction which is given to you carefully before continuing with this. And then if I press continue, I'm going to get a question like this. And here I can choose like how many files can be added into one question. 2 files, 3 files, 4 files, how many files? Like it is up to 10 files can be added in one question. And out of each of which size, maximum files together, these all will be like 10 MB, 100 MB. I can make it 100 MB. That's like most, I think it's sufficient for all the kind of questions which we are going to ask. Like 10 MB, each carrying 10 MB, hardly any question photo will be like 3 to 4 MB, and any question, any long question will have not exceed 2 to 3 pages presumption. So you can add that point here. Now let me take you to a very curious button. Like you might be curious like how the students will see it. And this, once I press this button, I'll see that the way the questions are, question paper is appearing to the students. I will write here something called as gmail.com or any email ID you can add. It's not like mandatory for a respondent to have a Gmail only, but it collects all the email IDs which is required. Now see here, principles of management. The name and associated will be recorded when the files is uploaded. That means people cannot fake here. Okay, which is logged in. Okay, section A, attempt 25 questions, which is being displayed here. Explain the evolution of the management. Student can write answer here. Then the student can choose one of these questions. And you can clear section once they have a doubt. I know it is 2, but still I will make it 3. I will explain the evolution of the management. Repeated question. Here is a multiple check question. Here I can choose more than one option, as I said. Here I can add a file. Wherein, and how to add file? See, I said students can write in their paper and then they can upload. Now how do they upload? This is how they can upload, by selecting this section from their device. Like they'll go to gallery and then upload, or even students can upload their images to their respective Google Drive, and in Google Drive they can see that there will be an image. If they have any image, they can pick it and then press the select button, and then they can go ahead with uploading the file. Okay, so and then they'll press submit. Now I'll not answer this question which was mandatory. I'm just going to keep it blank. Now it says, see, this question is required. That means it's mandatory. Now I'll try to submit it. See, it says it's not possible to submit. It directly takes to that question which is mandatory. Your student need not to scroll and take a tough time to get to the question which is mandatory. Even though it is star marked, even if the student has ignored, this directly takes to that point. This is very significant part of it. Okay, now I'll show you that if I go and down, I'm not attending any other question. I'm not going to attend any other question. I'm going to clear all, but I have attended only compulsory question and trying to submit. You can see that it is going to submit. See, your response has been recorded. That's why some questions which you want mandatory to be made mandatory. Now, this is the end of creating various questions and all. In the next video, I'm going to take you about evaluation. This is a very significant part for teachers. So, see you there in the next video.